friends and investors, I'm predicting over the next 6 to 12 months, we're going to see a positive shift in the Canadian real estate market. And I know this because of some of the news coming out from our favorite Prime Minister, Mr. Justin Trudeau, and some of the government agencies are putting out some data that I'm betting you have never seen before. I'm going to show you what that is in a couple minutes here. And you may have seen these recent comments about Trudeau saying housing needs to retain its value. I'm going to play this short clip for you in a couple minutes. But first, I want to show you some very, very important data from the Bank of Canada and from CMHC predicting where housing values, prices, and interest rates are going to go over the short and medium term. Hang tight here. First, let's take a look at this report. This is the housing market report directly from CMHC. Okay, we're going to look at the national outlook, and we're going to talk about some of the highlights here. There's some real important data. First, they're expecting weak economic growth in 2024. Big surprise. And they're expecting a small momentum gain in 2020, 25 and 26 as interest rates decrease. They are telling you interest rates are going to decrease. There's a more important point here. Hold that thought. I'm going to show you something you've never seen before. Housing start predictions, obviously lower in 2024, expecting a slight improvement in the next 2 years. Improvements in housing starts beyond 26, but not to the point of 2021 to 23 levels. So all that big story about building 10 million new homes in the 10 years, never going to happen. Okay, not going to happen. MLS price, not sales, price forecast, demand to push MLS's price beyond peak levels indicates a lack of short-term affordability. So they're saying prices are going to go beyond the peak levels that we were used to. And sales, this is about the volume of sales, foreseeing an increase in MLS sales due to strong population growth. Sales will surpass the past 10-year average levels, but remain below the record levels we saw in 21. Okay. Rental housing demand, I'll save you the pain. We're never going to build enough, and they're telling you exactly why right here. Okay. Now, let me show you something very important as it relates to interest rates that you've never heard of. Make this a bit smaller for you guys. Okay. CMHC internal chats claim higher prices will improve supply. What does that mean? Higher price levels will improve development feasibility, so starts will remain elevated over the forecast horizon. Read a suggested point discussing a related forecast. So what CMHC is saying is that higher prices are necessary, absolutely necessary, for development and new homes to be built in Canada. That's not a surprise. That's not the special news. Hang on a second, okay? Because I'm going to show you something you haven't seen before. Let me find it here. Right, here it is. CMHC attributes higher prices to cheap mortgages in passing, okay? In a presentation to financial professionals, the leadership of the Bank of Canada presented a point. In 2021, they explained that low rates have not made housing more affordable over the past 30 years. It did the complete opposite. Home prices climbed to absorb the excess credit capacity introduced by rate cuts. It did not improve affordability. It helped buyers pay significantly more. Hold that point. That's just the Bank of Canada. Who cares about them? We're just a small blip in comparison to the US. Well, the US Federal Reserve also presented a study showing lower rates do not improve affordability. Their key message was a reminder that affordability isn't just the cost of credit, but also the quantity of credit. It seems obvious, but apparently it isn't. Canada needs more housing. Duh. Especially with forced population growth. Okay? So there are only a few ways we can fix this massive problem that we have with housing affordability. Everybody wants housing affordability. That means prices are going to go down. So you're telling me after the government printed all the money they did, the billions upon billions of dollars, inflated the price of everything, they're now going to reverse that. They're going to make prices of land and materials and building and wood and concrete come down. And they're going to lower all the taxes they put on new housing. Not going to happen. Not going to happen, especially when Trudeau himself is telling you that he's going to keep housing prices where they are. Just listen.
But housing needs to retain its value. It's a huge part of people's potential for retirement and future and nest egg. So yes, we need to keep housing stable and valuable.
Right? So back to this point, they need to keep housing stable and valuable, and it needs to increase further in order to absorb the demand that all this immigration and all the Canadians who've been here forever need from our Canadian market. So, and then CMHC here is telling you, they're telling you straight in your face, MLS price forecast. MLS prices, the demand to push MLS prices beyond previous peak levels. Folks, prices are going up. It might not happen this year. It might not even happen next year. I don't exactly know when it's going to be. I can't put my finger on it, but I can tell you they are planning for this to happen because it's the only way to create more housing in our system, which they desperately need. And now they are telling you to your face. They are predicting the future. Now, is it going to go crazy parabolic like it did in 2020, 2021? No, they do not want that. And we don't either, to be honest. What's going to happen is they're going to lower interest rates to make it easier, like we said here, to make easier for the buyer to afford a higher payment. That's the way it goes, folks. That's the levers they are going to pull to make it work. So does Trudeau want to save real estate? Probably. I think he wants to save himself more than he wants to save real estate. But in order to save himself and his credibility and his family's credibility for the foreseeable future, he's going to have to save real estate. So friends, I know real estate's ugly right now. You don't like it and this and that, and there's all these complaints and interest rates and landlord-tenant board. But I'm telling you, in the next 6 to 12 to 18 months, it's going to become the best investment vehicle we have available. I'm not saying the best in the world, but the best we have available. Stay tuned. It's going to happen.